Hello, everyone. So I had a different type of video in mind, but I think with everything else that's been going on, especially when it comes to American politics, I know you're probably burnt out. You don't want to hear about it anymore, but this is pretty important. I think it's safe to say that we are entering some very uncharted territory when it comes to the state of modern American politics. You have factions on both sides that are going to say that they are 100% right. But there is one undeniable fact. That speech where you had the current president standing in front of a building with these two red lights coming up, looking like it's some part of, whoever was in charge of the optics of this presentation, fire that person. Fire that entire team, get rid of them. This is a huge F up if you're trying to project a message that's supposed to unite people. This is the type of stuff that's going to scare them. Why? Because for the last 50 years of Hollywood, this is the type of background that you use when you're introducing the villain. It does nothing to inspire confidence. It does nothing to inspire any good faith in the system if what you're trying to do is build a bridge between people. Of course, the hardcore supporters of the current president are always going to say, oh, that was a great thing. That's great. Check out these tweets. You just have to look and think about the last 2 years, everyone just flying off the handle. And 100%, this is the type of stuff that you do have to address when you are talking about preparedness. You can't stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, especially if something like this, something this severe, something this dividing is put out there. Because what it's going to do is it's going to embolden his supporter base. They're going to be more liable to do these crazy actions to get their point across. They're going to feel that the weight of the government is now behind them. On the other side, you have people who think that everything is lost. They're going to totally ignore the rise of the far-right Latina and the recent victories regarding gun rights in the last year. And they're just going to say it's a lost cause. This goes against everything that I had been told in my previous career, that we should uphold the highest values and build trust and full faith within the United States government. And you could say, well, this was on purpose. They're smarter than this. That's true. But I've also experienced working in and around bureaucracies. There are a lot of people who are simply incompetent, or they are very arrogant. They think they're correct. And within a change of internal leadership, that changes really quickly when they're told to take their flower pot and walk out the building. You could also put out the argument that they aren't trying to build a bridge. If CNN is also changing how your background looks subtly over the course of you talking, so that by the end, the American flag looks pretty purplish in hue, you know that they're trying to adjust and soften the optics. I know that from a psychological background, the color red is supposed to instill the feeling of authority, of power. You're projecting strength, but on the other end of that, you also project the connotations of violence, of blood, of fire, of punishment through force. These are things that this person, whoever set this up, should have thought about. They should have gone with something else entirely, because it doesn't help that you also have Marines, United States Marines, some of the best people that I know, some of the best people that I've ever worked with, standing in the back as if to imply something. You could say that there's no implication of that, sure, but then look at how troops have always been used. There's always a signal every time you see a uniform on stage, whether it's a positive one for support or a negative one, or one that shows strength, an or else kind of vibe to it. So how does this even relate to what I'm talking about, all the prepper stuff? Well, you know what? Right now, this is a good time to actually pay attention to your surroundings, because there are crazy people everywhere. This is the type of event that could set somebody off. You really need to pay attention to crowded areas. You have to think about the gatherings that you go to. Is it anything new? No, not really. It's part of a larger mindset that you're supposed to have. We've seen stuff go down at Knott's Berry Farm, of all places. There's just all these different things that seem to be going wrong because the coverage never ends. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has an internet connection nowadays. There's no way to escape the news of the world because it's going to be pushed onto you in one way, shape, or form, such as this speech. I wasn't really interested enough to watch this speech, but look at it. I've listened to it multiple times at this point, and I'm pretty tired of it. Seeing all the memes, it's just amazing, you know, the level of people engaging in that particular image, because like I keep saying, whoever set this up dropped the ball. I don't know who they're trying to scare, whether it's someone in a foreign country or the US citizens or both, but you definitely didn't make us look like the good guys. And as far as preparedness goes, it might be a rough time. Truth be told, it's always been rough. It's always been a precarious balance between civilization and total chaos and devastation. So watch the news, be aware of it, understand what's going on. Don't let it eat you up. Don't obsess over it. I know that we're all human. We're going to look at it. It's going to upset some of us. It's going to make us feel a certain type of way. And of course, here I am talking about it. I was supposed to talk about knives, but I don't think anyone really cares about knives at the moment. I think the vast majority of Americans are sane, rational people, and to not let any of this really get to you. Just stay prepared, not just because you have potential for crazy political violence, but bad people have always been a thing. There are carjackings, there are issues in big cities, there are wild animals out there. There's always going to be something that you should be cautious of anyway. So I just wanted to put my own 2 cents out there because it's important. If you're going to be involved in being prepared for the worst, you should understand the world around you. You shouldn't shut down. You shouldn't look away from it. You should look at it, understand it, analyze it, and then start to plan your moves, because how else are you going to prepare for what may go wrong? Let's keep on working to improve our communities. Let's keep on working to improve each other. Let's influence our own spheres for the better. You can get into this and go down the 100% toxic route of total black pill, the world is doomed. That serves you no good. Keep a level head and just be the best person that you could be, regardless of the situation. So until the next video, be good, stay safe, and have a good one.